everyone, it's your Agri-Sciences librarian Elizabeth here. In our previous video, we discussed what predatory journals are, and today we are going to look at how you can identify a predatory journal. So how do you tell whether something is from a predatory journal when using a search engine like Google Scholar? Firstly, have a look at where the journal article is coming from. If it is a well-known academic database or publisher, like Taylor and Francis, Oxford University Press, Scopus, Web of Science, Science Direct, and Wiley, to name a few, you will be fine. It is another reason to know your academic databases well. If not, then unfortunately the short answer is you will need to go to the journal's homepage. Avoid clicking directly on the PDF links, and evaluate the journal for practices, like we will show today. If the article is coming from ResearchGate, similarly, you will need to see in which journal and where the article is actually published and check where that journal is from before deciding if it is predatory. With regards to predatory journal lists, there are many different ones, and you will find links on your library how-to guide to these lists. Let's start with 3 things to look out for on a journal homepage though. You need to look at the peer review policies, the indexing policies, and the transparency of the journal procedures, including the editorial board. Firstly, journals have to have either a blind peer review or double-blind peer review policy. If you can't find any peer review policy, that is a problem. For our purposes today, we will use a specific journal example, the Journal of Plant Sciences. Here we have the Journal of Plant Sciences. We are looking on the menu for something that will lead us to its peer review policy. Usually it has its own heading. Here, there is no such thing. We can click on the Reviewers tab, which gives us nothing but a very long list of names. So there is no information on this website that a proper blind or double-blind peer review system is in place. That is immediately a red flag for this journal. If we look further, let's see whether the journal is indexed anywhere. Indexing refers to places where the journal is available. The internet is not a sufficient place if it is a proper scientific journal. It would be a part of a database that keeps the full text for everyone to access. We can see that there is a tab for indexing, and let's look at where it is indexed. We are looking for a recognizable academic database that it's in, like Scopus or Web of Science. But you can see nothing like that here. Most of these are not databases but search engines, and this again is a red flag. Lastly, let's look at who is involved in this journal. In general, an editorial board is quite small, maybe 6 to 10 individuals. This page just has a long list of names. There should also be designated roles, which this page doesn't have. So again, this is a red flag again. At this point, I'm fairly certain, just by looking at the website, that this is a predatory journal, as it 1. Doesn't have a proper peer review process, and 2. Isn't properly indexed, and 3. Isn't transparent with regards to who is exactly involved in this journal. To double check, I can use a database called Cabell's, available via the Stellenbosch Library, and search for this journal on their predatory list. We are wanting to see whether a journal is possibly predatory, so instead of the journalytics reports, we will use the predatory reports. And all we need to do is type the journal name in the search. We can scroll down until we find our journal. And once we found our journal, we can have a look at what the report says. So we can see that this journal has been flagged for predatory practices, where you can see it has violations, and then it states here exactly what the issues are. And you can see some way that journals should be more transparent. For example, there's no way to contact the journal, so you should always be able to have a way to contact the journal, preservation, and unusually quick publication. You should now be able to identify predatory journals. Good luck and continue strong in your research.